Should you call a narcissist out on his or her abuse? Wouldn't it be helpful if they had insight into what they were doing wrong? In this video, I'm going to be sharing 5 things a narcissist will do if and when you call them out on their abuse. Now first, before we get into it, for those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. I'm Shaneen Megji. I'm a coach that helps people to heal and recover their identities from toxic relationships. I also help people to successfully navigate difficult life transitions. Welcome to my channel on Toxicity is Not Your Destiny. I create these videos to help you navigate toxic relationships in your life from a biblical, practical, and spiritual perspective. So if you'd like to receive regular content from me on this subject, take a moment right now, click that subscribe button and click that bell so that you can get all the alerts, because every week or so I'm going to be bringing you videos on a regular basis to empower you in navigating toxic relationships. So without further ado, let's dive into the subject. Narcissists don't like to be called out or challenged on any wrongdoing, as much as they might pretend to be open to feedback, if some of them are, and as much as they might like to keep relationships around them to regulate them. Narcissists are not pursuing the truth. They are not looking for greater understanding of themselves or the people around them. They have zero interest, frankly. If they are seeking understanding, it is in terms of how that understanding will better help them achieve their goals and fulfill their agenda. Narcissists are quite goal-oriented and will employ whatever means to reach their goals, whether that means manipulating, deceiving, gaslighting, eroding boundaries, controlling, exploiting, whatever it takes. They will do all this while still doing everything in their effort to maintain their image. Also, narcissists have a massive aversion to shame. Their lives are an expenditure of all of their energy devoted to doing 2 functions. Number 1, avoiding shame as much as possible, and number 2, pursuing narcissistic supply, which is the validation, affirmation, significance, and honor they need to regulate their negative emotions. That's where most of their energy is spent. And after that, there's not much left over to pursue growth and any other inner healing work. It is a very sad predicament indeed. So when you confront a narcissist on their abuse, don't expect that your enlightenment to them is going to turn things around for good. It likely will not, because a narcissist's abuse works for them. That being said, I'm not saying you should not confront a narcissist on their abuse. Sometimes you need to do it for your sake, to find your voice and speak the truth, whether they will receive it or not. There can still be power, healing, and validation in speaking the truth, as long as you are not concerned about what the outcome is with the narcissist. Jesus confronted the Pharisees of his day many times. Now, of course, this only triggered their rage against him. Also, when Moses confronted Pharaoh on his abuse against the Israelites, it only resulted in Pharaoh becoming more and more abusive. So sometimes it may not be safe to confront, and it may result in greater abuse and retaliation against you. So definitely you want to be wise and look out for your safety if you are thinking of confronting a narcissist, particularly a narcissist that has a cruel and vindictive side to them. So in this next part of the video, I'm going to give you 5 ways that a narcissist will react when you confront them on their abuse. So here goes. Number 1, they will find fault with your message. A narcissist will find all the imperfections with your message and the manner in which you delivered your message in order to disqualify you from speaking into their life. They may criticize your tone, your timing, your words, the wrong spirit in which you are sharing, your lack of protocol. And then they will turn things around to make the issue be about the way in which you are confronting them rather than the issue you are presenting itself, or the fact that you are confronting in the first place. A narcissist will also find fault with you as a person and look for all the ways possible to disqualify you from having any right to confront them. And it will be reasons to say that you do not amount to being equal to them. And if they're a religious narcissist, they may also play the submit card and demand that anyone that ought to be under their authority has no right to question them, but only to submit to them. So beware of these types of people who twist and weaponize scripture this way. It is a telltale sign that they love honor more than they love truth. Because a person who loves truth is always listening for God's voice of truth, even through imperfect people with their imperfect delivery of imperfect messages, because God is always speaking through those types of people, because those types of people are all of us. Jesus said about himself, "I am the way, the truth, and the life." So any person that is seeking honor more than truth is also more in love with honor than with Jesus Christ, because ultimately Jesus Christ and the truth are all interconnected together. Number 2, when you confront a narcissist on their abuse, they will deflect. If you have a problem with them, they will make it out to be that there must be a problem with you. In their minds, it is impossible that there should be any problems with them. So if you have a problem with them, there's obviously something wrong with you. You obviously have issues in your heart. You must have unhealed wounds, or a chip on your shoulder, or resentment, or unforgiveness, or anger, or you are being lawless, or you have issues with authority, or you are trying to make them to be the bad guy and you the good guy. They may accuse you of demonizing them because you are raising a grievance against them. In their minds, it is you who must find out what exactly your problem is and get on board with them. If you are confronting a narcissist on their abuse, they will pin you as the one who has the trauma and needs to go for healing or counseling or deliverance. Number 3, when you confront a narcissist on their abuse, they will blame you for how they act. They will say it is because you're doing X, Y, Z, and that is why they behave in abusive ways towards you. If you are not doing X, Y, Z, then they would not have to do A, B, and C. If you're finding them harsh, then you must have a problem with being overly sensitive or not taking a joke well. Or if they are committing adultery or have given themselves over to other addictions, you must be failing as a spouse. Narcissists have an external locus of control, meaning that if anything is going wrong in their life, it is always something out there, outside of them, that is the cause of it. They don't look inward. They are not self-aware. Number 4, when you confront a narcissist on their abuse, they will turn themselves into a victim. They will rewrite history to make it out to be you who has abused them and victimized them. They may point out the times when you may have reacted to their abuse after extreme and prolonged provocation, and then use that as an example of how it is you who is the abuser and they are the victim. Or they may minimize their behaviors, not even remember or take into account their tyranny, and instead make your reactions to their abuse as what is causing the problems in the relationship. They may even turn around and start a public campaign proclaiming that you are the one aggressing against them. If they're not able to turn themselves into a victim because their abuse has been pretty blatant, then they will pinpoint all your wrongdoings against them and make them equal in severity as their abuse against you. It's like a person who has a log in their eye, but instead is pointing out all the sawdust particles in your eye and acting like those particles are logs just like theirs. Number 5, when you confront a narcissist on their abuse, they will call your exposure of their sin and abuse as a betrayal against them. Instead of feeling bad or remorseful about how they treated you and feeling broken by their sin and their standing with God and seeking to get right with God, they will instead feel betrayed by you for exposing their sin or bringing it into the light. So no matter what you say to a narcissist to confront them on their abuse, it will likely fall on deaf ears. It will likely result in massive gaslighting. They will rewrite history. They will create a new reality in their minds based on the 5 points I just mentioned. Instead of pursuing the truth, they will rewrite a history to suit their version of reality to make them look clean in the whole thing. The version that makes them the victim and the other as the abuser, and they will do everything in their power to avoid feeling any shame. Remember, that's one of the things that narcissists expend their energy doing. It's to avoid shame. So what do you do? If it is safe and you are able to confront in a way that does not endanger you, then confronting on abuse would be more for your sake than for the narcissist's sake. But expect that it could be frustrating and infuriating because it is like pinning jello to a wall or having to deal with a slippery snake that is always slithering and shifting and maneuvering in any kind of confrontation. And this can be draining. Do you want to expend all your energy in this manner? A narcissist is not seeking to change. They are in a fight, a zero-sum game. That is how they approach the world. This is not a dialogue where they are open to engaging in some kind of heart-to-heart understanding conversation. As much as you might wish that they are like that or would be like that, they simply are not wired that way. For them, everything is a fight. Remember, all their energy is being spent to avoid shame and getting their narcissistic supply, even if it is in the negative. Any information you give them in a confrontation of their abuse only enlightens them more on how to change their manipulative tactics or what areas they are weak and where they need to change their approach to better achieve their goals of blocking shame and getting narcissistic supply. They often are only learning and seeking information to manipulate people better to get what they want. The best thing you can do is entrust such people to God so He can deal with them. He is their maker, their creator, and He knows exactly the kinds of life circumstances to engineer to get to them. He wrote the manual of their existence. And sometimes we are at a loss of how to deal with narcissists because they are wired so differently and think so differently. Their hearts are callous and their consciences seem seared. Truly, these types of individuals need an intervention from God, and it's beyond a human intervention, I would say. To take on a narcissist is to take on a burden that God does not require you to do. If confronting a narcissist serves to help you find your voice, to help you to heal, and you can be safe in the process, then go for it. But know that what you are doing is for you and it's not to change them. If you are already on a healing journey and you are hoping that a confrontation from you could inspire change in the narcissist, it is likely not going to be the case. You may only infuriate or enrage the narcissist, and that could make your life needlessly difficult, since this feedback will fall on deaf ears. Proverbs 23:9 says, "Don't waste your breath on fools, for they will despise the wisest advice." The best thing you can do is entrust the narcissist into the hands of God, cut or reduce your contact with the narcissist, and focus on your healing and growth and strengthening yourself. I hope these tips are insightful and will help you to move forward with your life. If you're thinking of leaving or have left a toxic environment and you're in a season of transition, check out a free training I have put together. It is all about 3 key ways to navigate a difficult transition. I have included the link in the description box below. These are things that brought a massive breakthrough in my life when I was going through a difficult transition. If you'd like to see more content from me and have not subscribed yet, click that subscribe button and click that bell so that you can get the alerts, because I'm going to be posting videos on a regular basis to empower you to navigate toxic relationships in your life. If you think someone might be blessed by this video, do share it with them. If you like the video, give it a like. This just helps me to know what kind of content you like. And of course, if you have suggestions of other topics you would like me to cover, please feel free to drop those ideas and comments in the comments section. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And this brings me to the end of my video. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.